Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex, Senior Account Executive at GDMFX. This is today's European session outlook, and we'll start with the North American markets. We had the initial and continuing jobless claims come out 5 and 11,000 better than expected. The CB leading indicator month on month 0.4% worse than expected. Philadelphia Fed manufacturing survey 1.3 points better than expected, and existing home sales change month on month 2.6 better than expected. The Dow is 37 points down, its steepest percentage decline since February 3rd, 2014, and its lowest closing level below psychologically significant 17,000 level since the end of October. The Nasdaq is 139 points down. This is a big movement. The Dixie is down to 95.46 from 96.41. The dollar weakened yesterday, continuing a decline that began after yesterday's FOMC minutes suggested that several policymakers may not be ready to raise interest rates in September. The biggest mover was the USD Swiss franc with 70 pips downward movement. And the highlight today in the North American markets will be the Canadian Consumer Price Index data. All right, onto the EU markets. The German GfK consumer confidence came out slightly in the red, 9.9 compared to 10.1. The DAX 30, 300 points down, and CAC 40, 150 points down. Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras announced during a televised address on Thursday that he will resign his post and call for a national election to be held within a month. The most likely election date is September 20th, according to Greek press reports, citing government sources. Tsipras will now lead Greeks to the polls for the second time since he was elected on January 25th. The Euro USD is 120 points up yesterday, 40 up today. The third consecutive day of gains. It's at a 1-month high. Today we have the EU, German, and French market services PMI and market manufacturing PMI, with the French already coming out in red numbers. Onto the UK markets, the FTSE 100 fell 0.6% to close at 6,367.89 after ending 1.9% lower on Wednesday. The recent sell-off in commodity prices and related shares has contributed to yanking the benchmark into a correction, as it's down 10.4% from the record close of 7,103 set on April 27. Many market watchers label a drop of 10% or more as a correction. The FTSE has dropped for 8 straight days, the longest losing streak since November 2011. The fate of the FTSE is, of course, deeply entwined with that of the oil and the mining companies, which together make up around a fifth of the index. British retail sales rose in July, a sign that consumer spending will continue to thrive and drive growth in the third quarter. Retail sales were 0.1% higher on the month and 4.2% higher on the year. Economists expect consumer spending to power the British economy this year as low inflation and rising wages boost Britain's spending power. Today we have the public sector net borrowing. Alright, the Asian markets. Australia's dollar dropped toward a 6-year low as a decline in Chinese manufacturing gauge signaled a deepening slowdown in the world's second largest economy. The Aussie weakened versus all its developed market counterparts, along with its New Zealand peer, as Chinese stocks slumped toward their first losing streak this month. The Nikkei 225 closed 600 points lower yesterday with a range of 660 points. Opened today with a bullish gap of 55 points, but already slid downwards with 180 points today. The Australian and New Zealand dollars declined against their major peers as stocks tumbled for a second day in China, the biggest trading partner of both South Pacific nations. The currencies declined toward 6-year lows as risks to Chinese growth raised concern. The central banks of Australia and New Zealand could be forced to continue to reduce interest rates. Alright, commodities. Gold rallied to a 6.5-week high on Friday as stock market turbulence and the Fed minutes prompted investors to buy the precious metal as a store of value. Gold had a $14 range and ending with a $7 close, higher than the previous day. Crude had a $1.3 range yesterday and ended at 41.04. Natural gas had 9-cent range yesterday and 4 cents up for the day and is going down today. Alright, thank you everybody. That was today's European Session Outlook. My name is Alex. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.